Welcome. Come on in. Welcome to the Gies Online Masters in Business Administration iMBA webinar. I'm going to just wait for just a few minutes to let folks chime in or log in actually to the webinar. And so we'll get started here in a few minutes. And while you're logging in, if you have questions, you can scan the QR code to connect with our team to ask any questions. So you can do so with your actual cell phone. So there's a QR code on the screen if you do have questions for us. And I'll just wait here just for one more minute before we get started. And again, for those of you who are just now joining, if you do have questions, you can scan the QR code, which is on the screen, if you have any questions. And so with that being said, welcome, Happy New Year to everyone. This is the Gies Online Masters in Business Administration, iMBA webinar. And my name is Marcus Phillips, and I'll be your presenter today. And so we want to kind of just get an idea of where you are chiming in from. And so if you can pull out your phone, and if you go to poev.com/Gies Online, there should be a QR code. Hopefully you can see that. You can just let us know where you're coming from. And so as far as joining us. And so if you have anyone want to know, let us know where you're coming from. That'd be great. And so we have representation from all over the world in our program. So it's always good to see where folks are coming from. And so hopefully we'll have folks from all over the U.S. In the world. And so if you want to go ahead and
Marcus, I think you have your
yes.
display. We'll have to adjust your display, and I'm not sure you'll be able to do it right now, but it's
Okay.
going a little large, so we might have to skip the polls.
Okay. Sorry about that, folks. We'll go ahead and skip the polls.
Better idea. Everybody throw in the chat where you're from today.
Yeah, throw in the chat where you're from. I'm based actually in Normal, Illinois. I'm in Central Illinois, about 45 minutes from campus. But like I said, we have folks from all over the U.S. and the world represented in our program. So I see Philadelphia. Great. I was there for the Penny Relays several years back. Awesome food there. Philippines, Tucson, Hawaii, California, Houston, Chicago, San Jose, New Jersey, Japan, India, Houston, Michigan, St. Louis. I was just in St. Louis this past weekend. Enjoyed the aquarium and the food in St. Louis. Great. New York, Pittsburgh. So great. Thank you all for putting in where you're located from. We love to see that. Love to see the variety of geographic locations. Detroit, can't forget Detroit. My father's in Bloomington. That's awesome. That's awesome, Eric. And so, yeah, so thank you all for chiming in. Again, welcome. My name is Marcus Phillips. I'm one of the associate directors for Gies graduate programs. My title is Associate Director of Business Development. And so we're going to kind of go through the agenda here quickly, and then hopefully if one of our students may join us today, and that'd be great. You get a chance to hear from one of our current students. So what we'll do is we'll do welcome introductions. Then we'll talk just briefly about the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, plus the Gies College of Business. Then I'll touch on Gies Business Online. We'll do a quick program overview, and then we'll touch the curriculum and content. And then towards the end is the application tips and tricks. And then hopefully we have time for Q&A to answer your questions. And so we'll love to have your question. I have my awesome colleague, Kate Deering, who is joining us. Kate, if you want to just chime in and introduce yourself.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for being here. My name is Kate Deering. I'm an assistant director within recruitment and admissions, and excited to have everybody here. I'm in the chat and the Q&A. Try to put your questions in the Q&A. That way everybody can see the answers. It just keeps them all kind of in line and easy to search. But other than that, welcome.
Thank you so much, Kate. Is Abigail?
I think she might be having technical trouble, so she's
okay.
not. So I would say let's keep moving, and then I'll let you know if she arrives.
Awesome. Thank you. And Abigail's a current student in the iMBA program, so hopefully you get a chance to hear from Abigail about her experience in the program. So let's talk about the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. So this is the flagship institution for the state of Illinois. It is a land grant institution. And so with it being a land grant institution, one of our priorities is access to education. And as you will hear throughout the program, we really try to provide that access. And so the price point with our iMBA program is just one example where we want to make sure that we can provide a high quality education to as many people as possible that obviously are qualified academically. So that's just the mission of a land grant institution. As you can see, we have a ton of Pulitzer Prize winners, highly ranked institution, 24 million library items, an extensive, research portfolio as well. And so we've been on the cutting edge of a lot of different things in terms of research. When it comes to disability friendly, we rank #1 as well. And of course, there's just a wide array of alumni that are part of the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. So our reputation is very strong, not only domestically, but internationally as well. And so this is a high quality education, high quality institution overall. The Gies College of Business also has a strong reputation over the years. And as you can see on the screen, there's several, highly ranked information about our business school. I do want to point out our accounting faculty is a fabulous faculty, and so ranked #3. And our Dean Brown, who actually will be retiring this year from his position, has been one of the most innovative deans, over the last 5, 6, 7 years. And in 2021, he was in 2022, he was named the dean of 2021, the end of the year by Poets and Quants, which is the premier business go-to site, for working professionals and for undergrad as well. And so we have a lot of pride and innovation, right? And so I think Dean Brown really pushes that with leadership, with faculty and staff, and so he gives us that room to be innovative. And so it's a pleasure working at an institution where your creative thought is embraced, right? And what can we do to make our programs be flexible, adaptable, and high quality for our students as well? And then we have a pretty extensive alumni network as well, 79,000 plus. And so I'm going to pause there. I'm so excited that Abigail has been able to join us. And so, Abigail, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, let us know where you at in the program, and where you're located, and then why did you choose our MBA program at Gies?
Okay. Hi, everyone. I hope everyone can hear me.
Yes.
Anyways, this is Abigail Arthur. I'm joining you from Ghana, West Africa. I joined the program in 2023. I joined the iMBA program in 2023. The reason why I chose this program was, firstly, there's quality education available. Secondly, the fact that I could work, I could study, I could take care of my family all at the same time without having to sort of disrupt my normal livelihood. And so it makes the iMBA fit exactly what I was looking for, because I was at a point in my career where I needed to upgrade my skills, I needed to upgrade my knowledge. However, I had just had a baby. I couldn't leave the baby and pursue my master's program immediately. I would have to wait for a while, but I felt also that I had pushed my master's education far back for too long, and it was time to take charge of that. And so when a colleague of mine from school introduced the Gies College of Business to me, I was very excited that I didn't know that existed, that I could have access to like a full-time MBA program, and one that was so immersive and so real. And so I was very excited that I'll still have the opportunity to take care of my family. I still have the opportunity to not sort of take a break in my career, whilst I'll still be able to pursue a program that has the likelihood of making it possible for me to ascend in my career as well. So these are the main reasons why I took this opportunity.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Abigail. Appreciate it. And then we'll have questions throughout. Where Abigail talk a little bit about her experience in the iMBA program. So thank you. And so Gies business online programs, there's three pillars to our programs. And so this, the flexibility, the stackability, the online by design. And so, and I'll touch a little bit about the flexibility of our programs here shortly, but that is, we want to make sure, you know, that we are flexible for you all. And, you know, you hear that out there quite often with different programs. And then I'll talk a little bit about the difference between our program and some other programs in general when it comes to flexibility. The stackability, that was an innovation, right? We wanted to make sure that, you know, if you took coursework that was Illinois credit coursework, that you would actually earn credit for that. And then it was online by design. In 2016, when we started our iMBA program, you know, we wanted to make sure there was a high quality program, like I mentioned before, and that this was something that wasn't necessarily a program that was threw together during the pandemic. There were several programs that were quickly rushed and put together because they had to. Our program was already in existence prior to the pandemic, so I wanted to point that out. And so over the years, you know, we wanted to make sure that the quality was there. There was always room for improvement. You know, we hired a large teaching and learning staff that was behind the scenes when it came to course design, course delivery, infrastructure. So we have a really solid infrastructure in place for our online programs. And so just quickly, I just want to talk about the stackable build. And so this is just an example of ways people can stack their coursework. And then ultimately, if you wanted to go this particular route, we try to meet our learners where they're at, right, in their educational journey. And so for some learners, they may start off, you know, taking their time and taking a course, maybe on Coursera, who we partner with, to take a free online course, what you call MOOCs, and so massive online open courses. And so some students may want to just try some content just to kind of read through, see if they understand. They may have been out of school for a while, right? And then they, you know, build that confidence and say, you know what, hey, I really want to try this for credit course. And so that's when the Illinois high engagement component comes into play. And they'll earn a course credit, right? They can take that course credit and actually stack it into a graduate certificate. And then a student can take that graduate certificate and stack it into an online degree program. We do have the IMSA and IMCM program, which is a master's in accountancy and master's in management. Some students will start there and stack into the MBA program. Okay, and so these are just some examples of how students can take the credit and stack it, and it saves time and it also saves money. There are some programs out there where, hey, you may take a free course, but it may not be for credit, and you try and, you know, go into one of their certificates or grad programs to, you know, or they don't have a for credit option available, and you may have to start all over again, right? And so we try to prevent students from doing so. And then here's a list of our 11 graduate certificates that we do offer. And so some students may not have the time for maybe commit 2 years, right, to an MBA program. They may feel like, hey, you know, maybe 6 to 12 months is a little bit, you know, manageable for them. And so we offer these certificates, right? And so these are courses that are in our MBA program, MSM, and MSA program. These are 12 hours, right? They are transcriptable, and so certificates. And so that means that you will earn credit. There's a brief application process. And again, you can stack these graduate certificates into any of the 3 iDegree programs, or if it's standalone certificate, you can stop. And if you wanted to, you know, just enhance your digital marketing skills, you can just do so. So that's something I wanted to share in terms of grad certificates. So let's move on to the iMBA, just some quick facts here. And I talked about access being a big piece of the program. And so, you know, for the entirety, it includes tuition and fees. The cost is under $24,000. And so you'll be hard pressed to find a high quality program like ours at this price point. And so that's why it was named 2022 Poets and Quants iMBA Program of the Year. It takes 24 months to complete. However, you have up to 5 years to complete this particular program. So again, there's that flexibility there. You're not regulated to 24 months. We understand we have quite a few working professionals, professionals with other obligations, like Abigail mentioned, have family or what have you, and so we want to make sure we're flexible. And then again, with the start dates, we have 5 different start dates. So again, we're just trying to meet you where you're at in your educational journey. You may not be able to start in August or January. So we also have the options of March, May, and August as well. And so just by the numbers, just want to kind of give you an idea of kind of what makes up our MBA program. And so as you can see, the average age is in the mid 30s. Average work years of work experience is 11 years, right? So you have folks who are seasoned professionals within the program. All 50 states are represented, over 100 countries represented as well. So it's a global community, and that's something we really stress. As you can see, my background has the globe, because I love the fact that we have a global community. And again, we have over 85 Fortune 100 companies represented. So we have folks in really good positions at really great companies, but it's not regulated to that, right? We have pilots, we have doctors, we have just small business owners. We have a range of professionals within our programs. And Abigail, what type of professional experience did you have when you applied to the program?
Okay, so when I applied for the program, I had worked for 7 years in oil and gas. In both, in Ghana, we call it downstream and upstream industry. So I had worked for about 6 years in the downstream industry, where it was mainly retail of the petroleum products to the market. And then I joined a new Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, where I worked in the upstream industry, where we partner with foreign companies, international firms to do oil exploration in the Ghanaian waters and offshore the Ghanaian waters. And so I work in the finance department of the company I'm with. And I have been a finance major since school. So I've worked in finance for the last couple of years, about 7 years now. All in the oil and gas industry only for now. So basically that was my professional experience upon joining the program.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay.
And so you can see we have great satisfaction within our program. And so, the overall quality, high rate. Our students are highly satisfied with our program, and several students have received promotions, job offers while in the program. And as you can see, the average pay increase is 23%. And so I think part of that is the network that students can build within our program, right? And to work with each other, to help each other, solidify, promotions or what have you. Again, because our average years of experience is 11 years, and most likely you'll run into someone that virtually that will, be a seasoned professional in an area that you may have interest in. So, so wanted to point out those great numbers. I'm just going to just kind of change gears a little bit and just talk about the curriculum. And so to earn your MBA, you need to complete 72 credit hours. So the breadth and depth of our program, I feel like, is unmatched. We have, 48 core courses. You have your 24 electives. And so as you can see on the left-hand side, the core specializations, there are 4 of those. And so you will cover those core specializations within the program. And then there's several focus areas as well. And so, again, you have those focus areas that you want to go into. And then there's 2 capstones, and then there's a final program capstone as well. So again, just some flexibility within her content, but it's a lot of breadth, a lot of depth within our program. So, Abigail, can you maybe talk about the like return of investment and how you apply like the course content to like your professional work?
All right, I'll do that. I would say that I joined a new company prior to starting the iMBA program. I joined the new company in 2022, so a year ahead of the start of my program. And it was a new field, though finance, and so there was a lot of learning I had to do. Now, I remember how I went through the first year, and as opposed to how my second year at work was whilst I was taking the program. Because I'm a finance major, everything I was doing in the iMBA program, I tried to take the finance courses first. I tried to inculcate the leadership programs, which is the leadership programs that I was also studied in school in there. And one thing I can say is, with the way my company is structured, I cannot be promoted based on work I've done for just a year. However, with performance appraisals and all of that, I have received recommendations and commendations that and rightly so, my understanding of the work has improved because of my knowledge, the knowledge I've gained in the classroom. The amazing thing about the program is we're studying real life situations, we're studying real life problems and how to deal with it. So it's very easy to apply it to your work, your real work experience. And that is exactly what I did. And at the end of the year, the recommendations and the commendations that I got from my supervisors was clear indication that I have made some improvements in my career, and all of these add up to, within the structure of the company, add up to make me a potential for a promotion in the next couple of years.
Awesome. Right. Well, I hope it works out. Yep, for you for that promotion.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you too.
And so we do get this question quite a bit about the I. What does the I mean for iMBA? And so basically, the I refers to just our method of delivery only. That's really what it means. And so this is something we just refer to with our all online degrees, our MBA, IMSA, IMSM. It's not noted on your transcript or your degree certificate. And your diploma is from the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. So you will see Masters of Business Administration from the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. So you do not have to worry about it saying online on your degree certificate, or if it's through a third party. It's coming straight from Gies College of Business, and our faculty create and present their material that are Gies faculty. So just wanted to share. We get quite a few questions about that. And speaking of faculty, I mean, we have some awesome faculty. We, got our best and brightest faculty who are willing and able and wanted to, teach online. We're very effective at teaching online. But we also, like I mentioned earlier, we have a strong teaching and learning support group. And so, as you can see, the picture that's kind of to the right of the words faculty sessions, we have someone in the background that is making sure everything is going smoothly, maybe during a live session or what have you. So there's a team over several hundred folks that come together and make sure that things are running smoothly, for our faculty as well. So Abigail, what can you talk a little bit about maybe like group assignments? Can you talk a little bit about, how are they? What are they like in general?
Okay, sure, I'll do that. With regards to group assignments, so at the beginning of the program, we're asked, because people are coming from all over the world, we're asked to choose the time zones or the time that works best for you, so that groups are formed based on the times, your available times. So that is one thing that is done before groups are formed. Once groups are formed, the groups meet either on, we have quite a number of platforms that we can meet on. We meet either on Zoom, on Teams, to discuss the group questions or the group assignments. And then, I mean, in the group discussions, you realize that you meet a lot of people from all walks of life, all like different careers, bringing on different experiences. And beyond the assignments, friendship is built. Networks are made. And then the group assignments are usually, if I should take, I see one of the leadership group assignments that we did that I took in my first semester. I see it on the screen right now, so I'll use that as an example. We had to climb Mount Everest, for example, and it took team effort. And it was like a real life situation where the group members were supposed to take certain decisions to be able to climb Mount Everest, given what we had at hand. And it needed, we had met for just a couple of weeks, but we needed to understand that we're working for a group goal, and based on that, take certain decisions. And it built a lot of cohesion. We took decisions together. We discussed among ourselves a strategy and all of that. And it also brings to bear the fact that in real life, that is how things work, really. So the team assignment is as real as it gets. There are real life situations that we deal with. I was in another course. We had to work on analysis for a company's financials. Now that gives hands-on experience on how you can take an investment decision. For instance, should I invest in this company or not? We based on financials that we analyze. In my real life, I know that I can apply. I know that I can take an investment decision based on what I've learned in class. And it's not just in class. In the group, you get a perspective of other people, and it's a wide array of knowledge that comes to you through the group assignments. It's like an addition to whatever you've learned in class. So it's been a lovely experience working in groups. And for every course I've done, I think there's just one course that I haven't been in that we weren't assigned groups, but most of the courses we have group assignments. So group assignments is really critical in the iMBA program.
And that is a perfect segue actually to the next slide. So can you talk a little bit about like the asynchronous component and the synchronous component? I know we have some questions kind of around that. Do you mind just discussing how that works in the class?
Okay. So with regards to the asynchronous component, so we have a Coursera platform where for every course you have a number of so most of the time the courses are 8-week programs. So for each 8-week program, we have a four module Coursera course to take. So it's two courses, 4 modules each for each course in the program. We have these on Coursera. You have to complete these courses alongside the high engagement components. On high engagement components is on a platform which is called Canvas, which is provided to us by University of Illinois. That is where we have our live lectures. That's where we have our team assignments made available to us. All the details that we need. We have discussion forums all through the high engagement components. With the Coursera or the asynchronous component, we have videos that we assess. We have quizzes that we also assess. We have assignments. Sometimes you have to actually evaluate your peers' assignments. So first of all, you take the course, then there are questions that you have to answer. Basically, this gives you like a background to what you will learn in class through the Canvas platform. So though this doesn't necessarily count towards our credit, it is a requirement to be able to pass a course that you have to complete your Coursera courses and pass your Coursera courses before the end of the course. Yeah, I think that's what I'll say for now.
No, that's fine. That's a good
Okay.
overview, and I'm sure we have probably some questions towards the end. But yeah, so yeah, it's like the asynchronous textbook, and then the high engagement component, right? And so I know you talked about like the live session. Those are like recorded, and so that flexibility is there if you're unable to make the live session. But we always encourage people to try to make that live session because it's such a rich learning environment. And so, but yeah, so I think the high engagement component really separates our program from a lot of other programs where it's just completely asynchronous. You're kind of like on this island out there doing your own thing in a sense. I feel like the high engagement kind of brings in people, like Abigail said, get a chance to meet people within your groups or what have you, and then make those connections there. And then speaking of connections, networking is a big piece of our program as well. And so, like I mentioned before, having that being on that island, you make them feel that way sometimes. Being a virtual student, I was in a higher ed program, or online higher ed program, master's program, and at times, you may feel like you're on an island. But with some effort on your part, you can easily make those connections, especially within our program, because we have two ways that students can make those connections. Is the Gies-led opportunities through iConnects, immersions, or iConverge, which we'll touch on, or through student-led opportunities. We have a very engaging student body. They love to connect with each other, whether it's virtually or whether it's in person, right? So Abigail touched on the group work. We'll touch here a little bit on workplace, student-led meetups, and so forth. So again, the first component, is through the Geese-led opportunities, and so immersions, are pretty big. And so immersions are these events that are hosted about 4 times a year, and there is an extra cost to these immersion events, and so they can vary if you're in the U.S. or if you're abroad, for example. It's about 30 to 40 students, so it's really a project-based experience, right? So and so you will go to a different, go to a particular city. For example, on the screen, you see the Seattle immersion, right? And so they work with I think the newest NHL hockey team there in Seattle. And so they did like a case competition in front of, I guess, executives or what have you. So they had to work in a team. They had to study pretty hard, right? And get a chance to network was a big piece of it as well. And of course, I got a chance to enjoy Seattle, right? So some cultural activities there as well. Currently, I think we have a group in Mexico City. I know in May there's going to be a group going to I think Indonesia, Singapore, and I think in July there's going to be an immersion event in South Africa. So we have these events domestically as well as internationally. And so that's one way that we kind of want to make sure our students are engaged and really get connected, and of course, right, practice they learn in the classroom. And then iConverge, which is our big professional development event that happens typically like in the fall, usually around September. This past September, we had over 500 students and alumni. So once you finish the program, whether it's the MBA, the MSM, or the MSA program, you can come as a current student. You can also continue to come as an alumni as well, right? So it's a great way to network, get a chance to meet your peers in person, to meet faculty, staff, and leadership in person as well. Attend a football game, for example. So we have 38 states represented, 32 countries, and there's a picture on the bottom right-hand side of the group who attended last year. And I love it personally as well, just to get a chance to meet students, especially students I interviewed or what have you. It's just good to see their faces on campus. Abigail, did you get a chance to attend iConverge?
Unfortunately not.
Okay.
Hopefully September I should be able to join.
Okay, no problem at all. And so can you talk a little bit about, have you been like involved with workplace at all?
Yes, I have.
Can you talk a little bit about your experience?
Okay, I think that workplace is an information center. So every information you need, like apart from sending an email probably to the administration or that's I support, workplace is a social platform where we get to meet each other, even discuss that maybe we've set up a group. If you want to join, you can join here. Maybe when I'm in Texas this week, who's around, let's meet up. It's like, that's the place where we have all the meetups, all the discussions, all the chit chats, set up the meetings. I mean, from which course should I take? What do you suggest? Taking suggestions from friends is like a big community of friends and colleagues on workplace with information. People that have already taken the course, people who are a bit ahead, will help you when you have any questions. You just post it there and somebody comes to your aid. So it's a big place of networking. It's been a big place where I network a lot. I get to meet people. And then beyond workplace, we have work chats, which is the chat session of workplace, where you can literally type in the name of anybody who's a student at University of Illinois and be able to have a conversation with them so far as they respond. So yeah.
Again, that's a great way to connect. And Abigail, you talked about meetups. Here are some examples of where we've had student meetups. I think it's been over 40, I think, plus meetups around last year. And again, these are like student-led meetups. And so these are students who just want to connect with each other, right? And it's in so many different cities and locations. Again, Gies, we may do something. For example, I was in Washington, D.C. We hosted a meetup for our learners in the D.C. metro area. Right? And so it was good just to see them connect with each other. And from there, they end up having these spontaneous meetups, later on. And so again, we understand that, in a virtual learning environment, you can be on an island, feel lonely at times or what have you within the program. But we do have these opportunities for you to get plugged in, for you to get connected, both virtually and in person. And so that ties into kind of like our student academic success team. So, if students are having maybe challenges, and they need to sit down with an advisor to kind of go through some degree requirements or policies. They may need to take an 8-week off. Life happens, right? And so you want to make sure you have someone that you can kind of lean on for guidance and direction. And so we have folks that will be able to provide that direction and guidance, whether it's degree planning, they offer express advising. So if you just have a quick question, you can just email our iSupport team to ask a quick question. However, if you need a little bit more time, so you may have a more in-depth question, then you have the opportunity to set up one-on-one appointments the folks over in the student academic success team. So Abigail, have you been able to, or have you utilized, this particular service? And so what did the support look like?
Yes, I have. So I think at the beginning of the program, I did sign up, but I wanted to finish my program in 2 years. And so I spoke to a couple of friends in the program, and they said, you know what, sign up for a one-on-one session and they'll help you. They're really good. And truly, I got a one-on-one appointment and they planned out my degree with me based on my interest and where I wanted my degree to focus on. They did it's been an excellent plan. I've been able to follow throughout my first year, and I'm in my second year. So definitely one of the best, because at the beginning I felt like I didn't know which courses to take. There are so many courses. I have core courses. I have to do a specialization. I wasn't sure how to start, what to start with. And they would advise you, you can combine this with that. You can combine this course with that course. And so it was really, really helpful for me. Yeah. Now speak to office hours as well has been one of the helpful things in the program for me, because beyond the classroom, you get to meet your lecturer. You get to meet your lecturer one-on-one with other mates, of course, but there's a more in-depth session where you can ask all your questions. The lecturers can literally take you through whatever they taught in class that you missed all over again. If you have questions with assignments, they have all the time to take you through, and until we are done, they're not ending the session. And sometimes, even if you need more time beyond the group session, because the office hours is usually a group session. It's open to the class and everybody can join in. But if beyond the office hours, you still have further questions and the professor thinks that he might have to teach you more, they still tell you, stay on after the office hours, I'll take you through this. And it's been awesome so far.
That's great to hear. Thanks for adding the office hours piece to it. I think that's definitely important. And so, okay, so we talked a little bit about what the program entails, talked about the curriculum, and how you can get involved with the program. Let's talk about the application. I know there's a couple of questions about admissions and so forth. So here are the requirements for the iMBA program. And so, obviously we need a resume. And so we really want your resume to match your application. And so it doesn't have to be like a 20-page CV or anything to that effect, that detail. Maybe, just a few pages, just kind of outlining your academic, your professional work history. We want to have your academic, which includes all your transcripts and mark sheets, and make sure those mark sheets are in English. And so our analysts, they can, make sure they have that information, being able to read that information to make a decision. Then there's an academic statement plus a short answer as well, personal statements. So those are there. And there are 2 recommendation forms that are required. And so all you have to do is put the recommender's name, email address, and we will send the form to them. And basically the form just has a few questions to assess your capabilities for the program. There are test scores that are required for international applicants only, the TOEFL and so forth, and as you see on the screen. And there is a waiver essay, and so there are certain ways that you can waive, from taking those exams if you're an international applicant. And then there's no GRE or GMAT required. However, if you feel like you want to submit that information and you feel like your scores are really strong, we will certainly take that information and add that as part of the review process. There's a scholarship essay. And so that essay you will have to fill out during the application process. That is part of that process. And so the scholarship essay is only available at certain times for the fall and for the spring. And so if you're looking to apply for the March start of this year, you will not see the scholarship essay because that deadline has passed for the essay. And then we have the performance-based admission track. And so basically, these are for students, either number one, students may not feel confident going full-fledged into the degree program. And so they self-select the performance-based admission track. And so students will take 3 total courses, 1 course at a time, and they earn a certain GPA, like a 3.0 cumulative GPA of those 3 courses, I think a B or higher for those individual courses. You hit those benchmarks, then you will automatically be, admitted into the full-fledged program. You won't lose any coursework. The coursework you're taking in performance-based admission track is the same coursework in the MBA. So that's all I wanted to stress, you not lose any time in terms of your particular coursework. And number 2, the admission committee may decide that the student may not be ready for a full-fledged admission to the direct program, and we will recommend the performance admission based track. So I just wanted to kind of share that. Kate, you may have thank you so much, Kate, for adding the performance-based link. And then also, do you mind adding the requirements for the international applicants in terms of the waiver? There's a lot of information that we have that talks about how you can, be exempt from the test, different tests for international applicants. For the MBA program, I do want to point out the minimum years of work experience is 3 years of full-time professional work experience. And we are pretty hard pressed on that. And so we don't want to mess up the integrity of the program. Again, we have average years, 11 years of experience. I think somebody asked about the MSA program. There's no years of work experience, but there are some prereq accounting classes that are required for admission there. So once you submit your application, we have an admission team that will go ahead and review your application, make sure you have everything that's needed. They will certainly contact you for any additional materials. And so once everything is it's complete, we will review your application, and then we'll send you an email to set up an interview with someone from the admission team. And so these interviews are about 15 to 20 minutes. It's really for us to get to know you, right? Virtually, see how you engage virtually. Tell us your story. What do you know about our program? What have you? And so it's just a great way we can just kind of gauge your interest, the likelihood that you will, do well in our program. And so, and then, once that interview is complete, probably about 1 to 2 weeks, you should hear back in regards to admission decision. Or if some additional information was needed for some reason, you hear back from someone from the admission team. Abigail, how was your interview? Was it terrifying? Was it not as bad as you thought it was going to be?
Oh, I actually enjoyed my interview, so definitely not terrifying. It was basically, I mean, you're going to be asked questions on what you've submitted, so nothing terrifying.
Yeah, exactly. So if you did your due diligence in your application, you did your research about the program and so forth, then you should be fine when it comes to the interview. And then just wanted to touch base on the application deadline. So again, February 1st is the deadline, the absolute final deadline to apply for March consideration. And of course, all applications will receive full consideration as well. So, and again, just, why Gies? Of course, the high quality program, the strong work, the flexibility that I talked about earlier, the affordability as well. And then the innovative course structure that we have. And then, just have some awesome faculty and staff that are part of the program. And so hopefully you all, will join us. And then what I'm going to do, thank you, Abigail, I'm going to go ahead and just show one more slide. So if you have any questions after this webinar, you can contact via email or phone or QR code to contact us. But I think we have about 10 minutes left, and so I'm going to stop sharing. And Kate, was there anything that I missed or that was a pressing question from the audience?
One person had just several questions, so I thought we'd ask those live. It's a little bit easier. Maybe for Abigail. Abigail, can you talk about how the exams are conducted?
Okay, so I think that is dependent on the course you're taking. So for some courses, you'll be asked to submit a paper. So with the questions, you do your research based on what has been taught in class, based on the notes we have in class. We're giving guidelines, and then you answer questions and submit with your references, make sure there's no plagiarism, and then you submit it on the Canvas platform, which is the platform, the high engagement platform where students submit their assignments. Now, these papers are subjected to turn it in, to check for plagiarism, to make sure that it is truly your work. So things like ChatGPT, they're all checked for to ensure the integrity of the paper that you've submitted. Now, if it's found out that you didn't follow the instructions and you either copied somebody's work or copied from the internet, then you are penalized based on the severity of whatever was done. We have exams that are timed as well within the Canvas platform, where it's either like multiple choice questions, which are timed, that and it comes with instructions. You're working just with, it's like they are usually open book timed exams. So you have a number of minutes that you have to finish the assignments once you open it, once you open the platform, or once you open the quiz. And that also, we have certain resources that we are allowed to use to do that, to do those quizzes. And that also ensures that we are working within what has been given us. Also, we have some papers, some exams that are not timed. Some of them are exams that, for instance, if an example that comes to mind is accounting, an accounting course that I took, that you will have to calculate on your own and then put in the final answer. In that case, we have the questions on the Canvas platform. If it's timed, you have maybe 2 hours to solve the questions and choose the correct answer if it's multiple choice, or actually type the correct answer in the Canvas platform and then submit by the deadline, or submit within the time frame that you've been given. So as much as possible, I have found the integrity of the papers to be kept in highly kept at a high integrity level, if I should say so. Yeah.
Okay. That's helpful. I think a couple other questions Abhik, I believe, had, are students considered full-time students? Yes, so our students are, the majority are full-time working professionals, and full-time in our program is taking 1 or 2 courses each 8-week term. And so, you know, if you take 1 course that requires 10 to 15 hours of work each week, 2 courses is typically 20 to 30 hours, depending on, you know, your background and what courses, but that is full-time. I mean, you're not gonna have too much other time than that. So couple other questions in here, Marcus. College ID card. You are welcome to apply for an ID card online and gain access to all of our library system and things like that. So that's definitely a possibility. And then Marcus, did you touch on the I and in iMBA, as well as, do they get a hard copy of their degree certificate and transcript?
Yes, they get a hard copy of that. Actually, I did touch on the I for the I degree, just our mode of delivery. And so on the degree, you will not see online, it will just say Master's of Business Administration. And so yeah, so basically that's what we just use for our 3 degree programs. Is that it's our mode of delivery. And yes, you'll get a hard copy of your degree program as well. So
okay.
yes.
Walter has a great question, and I think, Walter, correct me if I'm wrong. You've taken some Coursera MOOCs. He's referring to prerequisite MBA programs. So I'm thinking you're talking about MOOCs, but that he took before the actual enrollment and admission to the iMBA. Will he get credit for those?
No, you won't get credit, course credit for those. That is pretty much kind of like the textbook. So the stackable slide that I showed, the MOOC is kind of like a free course. It's kind of like the textbook of the class. In order to get credit, you have to take the high engagement piece of Illinois course. So anything that's just strictly Coursera, you will not get credit towards, University of Illinois. You have to take our piece of that course to earn course credit. So I hope that makes sense there. And then the scholarship information. Yeah, we should have we should have a link to this information about scholarships. We had the Forte scholarship, which is for women. And so we partnered with Forte, which is a business organization that really empowers women who want to go into business or in business. And so this is a great way that women can apply for this scholarship. It's very competitive, but it covers $20,000 in the iMBA program, right? If you earn or awarded that particular scholarship. We also partnered with Coursera to offer a handful of scholarships that would cover 70% of the cost for the iMBA program, as well as the IMSA and IMSM program. And so that is a competitive scholarship as well. There are certain deadlines. I encourage you to apply early that's when the scholarship is going to be available. And so again, like I mentioned earlier, you can still apply for the March start date, but the scholarship deadline has already passed to apply. If you're looking to, the scholarship part, I will look for you to apply for August when the application opens up sometime this spring. So I hope that helps out. And those are two scholarships we offer, just the Forte and the Coursera scholarships. Not too much else that's out there in terms of scholarships from Gies. And
So we covered scholarships. I know there's a lot of
yes.
questions about that. Can you apply more than once if you're not successful the first time? And will we provide a reason why your application was not successful?
We would just say that you were not selected for the scholarship. We won't provide like detailed reason why, because again, it's a very competitive scholarship. We have hundreds of students applying for it. And so you use a holistic review, it's an admission team, scholarship team that reviews it. And so basically we just let folks know that you were not selected for the next round. So for the ones who are selected to the next round, you receive an email saying you have been selected for the next round or you've been awarded this scholarship or what have you. We'll provide a reason of why. If you're laid off, no, we have students who are not working or unemployed, so that's not looked at negatively. And we look at your application holistically. Again, like looking at your GPA, your overall GPA, your interview, your statements, or what have you. But just that one piece, as far as being laid off, no. It could be a handful, and that varies, to be honest. A handful of folks could be a couple hundred people applying, so very competitive. I think I answered the questions. Any other questions?
Just one common question that Maggie's also asking. So if you completed the MOOCs beforehand, will this ease a bit of the workload while in the program, or is it more effective to complete the MOOCs while taking the 4 credit courses? Abigail, you could probably offer insight on that. I think students find their own way that works best once they're in the program on how early they want to complete the MOOCs. Some do it the week of, some do it the week before. Abigail, how do you prefer to do it?
Okay, so I prefer to do it the week before. So I do my I do like the week's module the week before the class, so that it's fresh in my memory, and when the professor is going through that specific module, it comes easily to me. So that's the strategy I have been using. So I don't complete the whole MOOC before the course starts. I just do it a week at a time, actually. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Can you also talk about the different times the live sessions are offered?
Okay, sure. So far I have most of the courses are taken in the evening, that is CST. They have been from 5 p.m. to about the latest I've had a class is 8 p.m. So depending on which part of the world that you are, that will translate into your time zone. But the classes are usually held in the evening Central Time.
Excellent. I believe that's all of the questions, Marcus.
Awesome. Thank you, Kate. Thank you, Abigail, so much. Thank you all for joining us. And thank you for the great questions, and take care.